is slow to answer. Russell continues to work with the left. Probert goes to the left. And Probert got in a good left. Russell got in a good right. And the linesman standing back, letting them tire one another out. Cam Russell standing toe-to-toe with Probert and giving him all he wants and more. And the linesman now step in there. Maybe the best fight Cam Russell's had all year long. He held his own and more than that against Bob Probert.
Started in the neutral zone. The Hawks doing a better job, but Russell stood him up and they started to glove each other and stick each other. They both had a stare down and then they both dropped their gloves, and Cam Russell got off early and often and did an excellent job against a tough Bob Probert.
Frank Kuchera got a big hit as he cleared it to center right. And Lemieux, this place has really been a terrible spot for him. This is where Konstantinov got him for over 100 stitches last year.
McCarty was being tied up by Kuchera, reached in, and the stick came up and clipped him. And got him right between the eyes, and probably in the bridge of the nose, and down he went. Gregson made no call at all. It was right in front of him.
Shepard starts back, long feet on the money to Burr. He rolled it to the near side. Chason unloaded on by Roenick as he hammered him as Chason dumped it in.
He had the angle on him, had some momentum, was gliding right into it and almost knocked the glass into the seats. Chason, they'll bounce right back. Good, clean, solid hit. That's a great hit.
Oh. McCarty has something to say to Chelios. What's Darren McCarty doing on a Red Wing power play? Going to set up shop in front of the net, I imagine. Meanwhile, Kozlov steps to the Hawk line, dropped it back, held in by Lidstrom. He centered one. Peeling off with it is Fedorov. He put it to Coffey-Long, shot, and it deflected wide. The near side held in to Fedorov. Put it to Coffey. He shoots. That hit Fedorov, and then Fedorov is marked by Chelios. Here goes McCarty, and Fedorov after Chelios, and Belfour may be joining in here as well. Two Red Wings went right after Chelios after he flattened Fedorov in front of the net.
Well, McCarty had words with Chelios earlier in the shift in the neutral zone because he went at Fedorov, and then Fedorov was leveled by Chelios, and then McCarty came in as well, and a host of players jumped in as well, but a fine job so far by the officials to get in there in a hurry. Kozlov was on top of Chelios, or it was Chelios, now it's Roenick that they're on top of.
The officials trying to keep the peace, but they are outnumbered here.
Again, the Blackhawks are a man short, so that's to an advantage as far as the Red Wings, and now they've got...
Well, they do have Fedorov pulled out of the pile, so it's 4-on-4 there, but... Gregson will have multiple decisions to make here.
Belfour made the initial save. Fedorov knocked to the ice. He had his own momentum. He was spinning around, and then he went at Chelios, and McCarty was there. So there was going to be an original penalty on Chelios, but then McCarty came in and started flailing away. Belfour's right there as well, and it's a close call to see whether Belfour will be thrown out as well. But I would think there's going to be a host of penalties here. Chelios is going to get the original penalty. And he still continues to jaw at McCarty, and I don't know why Chelios will even waste his breath.
But it winds up over on the far side, and Probert a huge hit.
Well, a big penalty-killing situation. The Blackhawks with help from their penalty killers and good goaltending, but a solid hit by Probert on Russell. Is well within the rules, and Russell bounced right back up. I should say he just called up. The Winnipeg Jets played mostly in the American Hockey League. Gets a penalty for charging. I think the fact that he left his feet might have had something to do with the call, but certainly it was a miss hit and not much of an attempt at a charge.
Sure was. Here come the Wings back. Eisman over the line in on Chelios, who knocked him down before he could shoot it. And behind the net, Chelios got a rough ride from Primo. Three Hawks throw him to the ice. There's going to be a penalty. And again, some scuffling in behind the Hawk net.
Gregson letting a lot go in this game, and as a result, tempers are starting to flare up. Chelios knocks down Eisman. He goes harmlessly into the end boards, but Primo comes in and gives Chelios an elbow. And Rich Sutter took him down, and then Chelios holds Eisman down, and I believe that's going to be the only penalty.
The draw to Kartner, who shoots one, and Belfour stopped it, and he'll cover it. Martin Lapointe came through and gave him a knee to the head. Chelios didn't like it, neither did Noonan. They're going to get in Lapointe's face, and now Belfour out of the net.
Kartner's going to get thrown out of the game. He's got to get two for instigating. He came in, dropped the gloves, and drilled Chelios from the side. He'll be gone. A harmless play. Lapointe, certainly not that type of player, came in after the whistle to buck Belfour, and then Chelios gave a shove. Then Kartner came in, dropped the gloves, and started flailing away, and I imagine Kartner will be thrown out. But Lapointe, who's not known for that type of play at all, started it all well after the whistle. Then Noonan came in, and he'll be sent off along with Lapointe, but I think Kartner should be thrown out of the game for instigating.
Well, Dale, you remember the last time in here, it was a physical battle as always when these teams meet, but in one occurrence, Chris Chelios got a high stick across the throat or side of the head of Sergei Fedorov. It appears to me that he is very clearly a target tonight of every Red Wing player. Anybody that has a chance to get a piece of Chelios does. He has been targeted a couple of times after whistles for extracurricular activities, and here Kartner, he's gone. Good call, you made it, and so did Terry Gregson. Kartner's out of here. He just came flying in from left field, dropped the gloves, and unloaded on Chelios with a hit from behind and a cheap shot that he never saw coming. But have you had the same feeling that Chelios is a marked man in this game?
Especially the first couple of shifts in the first period, Chelios gave Fedorov. But this was a harmless-looking play. Lapointe was staring with Chelios, but then Noonan came in, gave him a whack. And then Kartner comes, drops the gloves, and starts on Chelios. Belfour again leaving the crease. He's got to be careful. That's the second time tonight he's jumped in. And
to Graham. And to feed Murphy. The pass didn't click. And it's chopped up over the glass and into the crowd. Here's Konstantinov going after Murphy, and we got another problem in the Red Wing zone. Joe Murphy had his back turned to Konstantinov, who started flailing away at him. And there's a host of players on the deck in the Red Wing end.
I believe Murphy was going to get a penalty for high sticking. Got the stick up on Konstantinov, and then Konstantinov took exception to it. That was a mismatch as Greg Smith was all over, I believe, Coffey. He gave Coffey a whack while he was down, and then they come back up, and the officials are right there alertly to break it up. And Konstantinov came flailing away after Murphy got the stick up a bit into the left shoulder. Power play gets the stick up into Konstantinov, give him an elbow, then Konstantinov came up, punched him, then took the gloves off and started flailing away. Then the rest of the players came in, and then Greg Smith gave it to Coffey, worked him over, gave him a shot while he pushed him to the end boards. Waited until he got back up. The officials reading that nicely, got in to break that up. Primo and Mateau eyeing each other. They dropped their gloves, they're going to go at it.
And they did so before the linesman could get there. Primo and Mateau. Primo last week had a fight in practice with Bob Probert. He's no stranger to rough going. Mateau standing in there with him. And a good right hand by Primo. He's knocked Mateau's helmet off. He landed a couple to the side of the head. And now Mateau down to the ice, and Primo with a victory in that bout. Noonan has a breakaway. Brian Noonan is in from center ice. Here he comes, the shot. He scores! Brian Noonan!
McCarty now and Greg Smith have squared up in the neutral zone.
Greg Smith and Darren McCarty now come together, and they're slugging it out, each man landing several shots. And now they wrestle right to the Chicago bench. McCarty and Greg Smith, and now the linesmen step in there.
Greg Smith doing a good job in that altercation. He's recently acquired for that reason, for his toughness. And
so 5-minute penalties for fighting to Greg Smith and McCarty, and here's a draw taken by the Hawks, a long shot, and a save by Chevrolet. Rebound, Brent Sutter, center one, they score! Dirk Graham! Here's a steal by Mateau, away from Fedorov. Mateau centered it, Roenick, the shot, he scored! Steve Smith at the far point. Leaves it there for Noonan, into the corner. Roenick moves in front, shoots at the goalpost, rebound, they score! Brian Noonan picked up the rebound after Roenick had pumped one off the goalpost. Clearing it out to center, a long pass is picked off by Probert. He ran right into Greg Smith, and Probert got the worst of that. He's cleared into the Hawk zone. Probert looking for Smith. Here they go. Probert went right after him. Probert and Greg Smith behind the Hawk net. Smith holding his own, landing some rights. Now Probert trying to answer with a couple of right hands. Smith has the right loose, has landed a couple more. Probert has had the jersey pulled over his head. And now they tumble to the ice.
I knew Probert was going to go at him. That was a good, clean hit. Probert, I think, initiated the hit, but Smith got the best of him on the hit, and then when the play went into the Blackhawks zone, he went clearly at Smith. And that's a second altercation for Greg Smith. He's done well in both of them. And Probert's second as well. Probert got the worst of the hit, saw the hit coming, and then was upset about it and went clearly looking for Smith the whole time, and Smith knew it. He's had about 6 fights tonight, at least 6. Roberts had 2, Smith's had 2, McCarty's had 1, Russell's had 1.
He chips it in there. Konstantinov's going to get a rough ride from Lemieux. He knew who was coming. Konstantinov turned to play the man and forgot about the puck to try to brace for the hit, as he knew Lemieux was going to give him a rough ride, remembering what happened here last year. Now Konstantinov tied up on the far side. Then Lemieux cross-checked him in the head. He's going to get a penalty. And the whistle sounds. Lemieux wants Konstantinov, and the Red Wings have a couple players going to prevent him from doing that. Retaliation in this situation, why not?
There's a time and a place for everything, and with a 4-0 lead, you're exactly right.
The linesmen have people kept apart here with 8 minutes to go in the third period. Chicago 4, Detroit nothing. Here's a steal by Brent Sutter. He's got a 2-on-1 to the line. Left it for Chelios. Fires. He scores! Another short-handed goal for the Hawks. That's 2 tonight. Brent Sutter set up Chelios, and he blew it by Chevrolet to the stick side. And the Hawks in a 5-0 laugher now. Put it around the far side. Roenick got away from Konstantinov. Works it out to center ice. Konstantinov slashing. Now Roenick goes, takes a swing at him. And the linesman alertly getting in there, and we got more scuffling going on at center ice. Konstantinov, who was beaten by Roenick coming out of the Hawk zone, gave him a whack, catching up to him at center ice, and JR just left the puck there, went right after Konstantinov, and
he's going to get his big time. He's one of the dirtiest players in the league, Konstantinov, and he hasn't changed.
There he sticks his beating on the play, sticks his leg out trying to trip Roenick first of all.
Then he swats at his head.
Konstantinov in full control of his stick, and he zinged it by Roenick's ear. Didn't miss him by more than a couple of inches.
There's only going to be one penalty called on Roenick. Come on.
Now we got a fight behind the play as Roenick, I think he's going after Konstantinov. Yes, it is. Konstantinov and Roenick. Two men not used to this type of activity. The gloves are off. They're wrestling as much as anything. Trying to get the right hand loose. Now lands a short right on Konstantinov, and down they go. before handling the puck. Seconds away from his 20th career shutout.
Second against Detroit.
In a place where so often he's come out on the short end of the stick. The clock winds down. The Blackhawks have won it.